Welcome to Southwest Yard and Garden. I'm John White. Today we're going to be talking about some of the garden activities for the month of August, and one of them that's probably real important if you have stone fruits, and those are the peaches, apricots, plums, cherries, almonds, is the evidence of peach tree borer. And as you see at the base of this apricot tree, we have this glob of sap that's forming right here at the base. This glob is probably a different problem. We're going to talk about that, but this one is peach tree borer. If we come in and kind of cut some of the sap loose, open it up, we can see if we have some real fresh ooze in there, and as we dig through there, we can probably find maybe the larvae of the insect in there. But this is the month that the adult, which is a blue-black moth, it has a orange band on the body of it, will be flying around and laying eggs. So this is the time we want to treat with an approved insecticide around the base of the tree to try and prevent when that egg is laid and when the egg hatches. So remember, we want to control that problem here in this month. The other sap oozing can be a bacterial infection in the tree, can be a sign the tree is under stress. We'd like to use a copper fungicide in the fall of the year. Use dormant oil with it, helps it stick to things better. You want to do a thorough job of spraying the entire tree, but this is bacterial gall, not necessarily borers, but down here is evidence of a peach tree borer. So hopefully that'll help you. Now let's go take a look at some grapes and look at some of the things we can be doing with grapes now. Also, we'll be talking about this month are grapes, and grapes are coming on, and we can see by the cluster here we have a good cluster of grapes. There's several things you can do to enlarge the size of the grapes. They probably need to be done before this period, but there are some gibberellic sprays that can be put on the grapes to size them. There's some things you can do with cluster thinning, taking some of the individual small berries out and allowing the other berries to enlarge in size. But one of the things we want to point out is the little white, what we call stippling on the leaves here, and that's caused by an insect called a leafhopper. And that's a lot of times when you hit the leaf on the grape, you'll have a little insect that flies off very quickly off the leaf, and that's a leafhopper. And what they're doing is sucking a little bit of juice out of that leaf every time they feed on it. And if the populations get high enough, and if they do enough feeding, they can cause an early browning of that leaf. And a lot of times people see their grapevines turning brown way before first frost, and you kind of wonder what's happening here. Well, a lot of it is this insect plus the incidence of powdery mildew, and the time to control those is now. So if your grapes are getting ready to harvest, of course you want to get those harvested before you try spraying anything. And then once the grapes are off the vine, go ahead and get the vine sprayed so that you get the leafhopper taken care of. Again, use an improved insecticide for that, and you'll have a much cleaner, healthier vine next year. So again, this is the time of year that you want to kind of watch for that kind of damage. Another thing we'll be doing this month is with our fruit beginning to ripen like this plum, we need to pull bird netting over the tree, and that's to keep our bird friends from helping themselves to maybe more than what we want them to. And we need to gather the netting, and we can use a clothespin to hold it together, but it is important that we don't leave any openings. So we want to keep this pulled together so that the bird cannot get underneath and in, because they will feed, and then sometimes we'll get trapped inside. So we want to keep it tied tight at the bottom as well as the top. If the netting comes in contact with the fruit, of course the bird can reach through and get it, so it's very important to make sure that the netting is away from the fruit, and that way you have it protected. Again, if you have grapes, netting is important because birds do love grapes, and they will tell you when those grapes are ripe because they'll be on them real quick. So we like to pull those away. Some of the other pests that we get on fruit are, of course, the metallic green June beetles, Japanese beetles. Several people use different names for them, but they're the real bright metallic green beetles that like to get on overripened fruit. These will help to protect from some of that. So again, netting is good. You want to keep your tree pruned to a height that makes it manageable. It makes it easy to put the netting over the top of the tree so that you can protect everything. So those are some of the things that we can be doing in this month of August.